I just like doing something weird in the beginning of every video. So, the people I live with are really fucking stupid. And I know with the theory of relativity, you're not supposed to be a meanie pants to people, or else you get meanie pants back to you. But I'm only saying this one time, and I'm not rewatching the video. I already know my grandparents say stupid shit and don't listen. So, every single time I usually tell my grandma, a pole shift is coming, a pole shift is happening, now we're in the pole shift. These are usually her three responses. Or okay, or no response at all. Why? Because somehow their tiny little brains, their tiny itty bitty brains can't listen to the smart things I'm saying. Surprisingly, I am extremely surprised that my mother called me and said I was right. Holy fucking shit. One person in my family actually said something intelligent. They said, I guess you were right. No fucking shit. Just like how I told my older sister and her ugly ass, bitchy girlfriend, don't put your money in the bank. Don't have a savings account. Don't. Because one, money will become useless soon. Two, we're in trillions of dollars in debt in the US. And three, eventually silver will take over. I told them that in the car 2 years ago. No, it was a year ago. And I said, don't have a savings account. That's not smart. Where the world is going. Oh, no. You're always right, Cody. No, I just do research and use my brain. So now what's happening? Soon we'll be switching to digital currency. Two, why the fuck would China, Russia, and all these other countries, including India, stock up on gold and silver? That's kind of a high indication that we're going to start using gold and silver soon. Wow! Isn't that amazing? It's not. You just gotta have the ability to connect the dots. Oh, everyone is harvesting gold and silver? Well, maybe I should do that. Brain! I use my brain. When I hear someone say that I'm always right when I'm trying to help them, I want to smack the shit out of them. Yeah. So when my mom says that, wow, a lot of floodings are happening, I guess you were right about the pole shift. And she admitted that she agreed with the FEMA camps. Holy shit, someone in my family actually used their brain. When I make Facebook live stream videos, you know what I hear? The pole shift won't happen for thousands of years. You know what? You know what? You know what? It's the last pole shift occurred 750,000 years ago. 750,000 years ago. I'll say it one more time. 750,000 years ago. So yes, when you tell me that it's not going to happen for thousands of years, I look at you with this face. Really? The Bible. Ancient coins, ancient scrolls, ancient relics. You know what they all point to? A pole shift. I may not like the Bible. I may think it's just a storybook. But you know what? Whoever wrote it, the original version, knew a lot of shit somehow about the world, which is kind of interesting. Seeing how if there were no aliens ever, yet we know what they look like somehow, because someone could have just thought of that and created it. No, you have to have at least an idea. Where did we get the idea of aliens? Where did we get the word of aliens? What the fuck? Like, really? You can't say that aliens aren't real when when we have coins, ancient coins with aliens on them. You can't say aliens aren't real when we found fucking fossils of aliens, which, by the way, have human body structure. The Greys. You can't say it's just all this stuff. The pole shift, aliens, there's proof, there's evidence. And there will always be someone that will try to debunk it. There's video footage of the Greys. And it's not normal video footage. There's a video of a Grey walking with government workers. And he blinks, he moves, everything. And the guy who describes it is a professional CGI creator. He does CGI for a living. And he explained how it wasn't CGI, how it could not possibly be CGI. And I completely believe it. I'll say it one last time. You can't just say, hey, alien, okay, it looks like this. No, you need proof. And there is even in biblical, in other scrolls and things, it always says the sky gods. The sky gods. What the fuck? Where do you think aliens come from? The sky. And the depictions of the pictures? Aliens. Like, how much more proof do you need? There are videos. 2016 is strange. 2017 is strange. And there are fucking aliens in the sky. Like, right there. And it can't be fake because people are driving in a car. It happens multiple times around the world. There are I forget what they're called, but there are these glowing blue dots that are in the sky that move. And there's one really fucking weird video of like 10 of them that multiply in the sky. There is a fake UFO video that a guy showed how he used CGI to make it. Sometimes I think when they debunk UFO videos, and this is just my opinion, it's government hiding the fact that it was real, but the guy showed how it was fake. But there are the fake spoofs, and then there are the real ones. If you don't believe in aliens, your mind hasn't expanded yet. Your mind is closed. It believes in what it's told, and that's it. Even if you don't fully believe in aliens, you could think of the possibility that they could exist. If you're below that, where you don't even think the possibility that they could exist, then you need to open your mind. Open it. Because, God, you are just a terrible person. Like, wow. I got one comment earlier, I think it was earlier today, where a guy asked me why I was so skinny. It's a good question. It's a valid question. You see, when I was younger, I just want to answer this. I like answering it in a video rather than just a comment, because it's more human-like. Growing up, I was the pickiest eater. I didn't eat anything. Literally by the age of 8. That's a good one. I didn't eat any meat. All I ate were those fake small carrots and fast food. All I ate was fast food, ever. I weighed 50 pounds in 8th grade. Let that soak in. I weighed 50 pounds. I can even remember the medicine ball incident where we had to toss medicine balls in PE class, when PE class was actually PE class, where we had to be active. And the medicine ball hit me in the stomach because I didn't have enough strength to catch it. So it hit me in the stomach, then it dropped and fell on my feet. So I ran behind the building and I puked because it hit me. Another reason why I'm so skinny is because growing up, age 4 to now, it's not as bad now, I would have seizures throughout the day. So I was constantly puking. So any food I ate, and I wasn't healthy because I was only eating fast food, I puked it out. I always puked. Then, another reason is because I was on a medicine called Topamax, which completely doesn't allow you to gain weight. It takes off pounds of weight. So I was anorexic. I was fucking super skinny. I would always try, because I had anxiety, I would always try to drink tons of water to look bigger. I was even thrown, I can still remember this, when I was 10, um, I was thrown by someone, and due to I have had healing abilities since I was like born almost. They were weak though. It took me a while to heal, but the damage compared to like you would think being thrown very far since I was so light, it would take forever to heal and my bones would break. You would think that because I was skeletal back then. This this is muscle compared to what I used to be. Trust me, it is. You would think that my bones would break because I was so thin and so light, but that's not the case. When I was younger, I couldn't feel pain. Like I didn't feel pain really easily. I did, but it wouldn't affect me as much. I got when I got these stitches, you can barely see them. When I got these stitches right here, I had to get 13 stitches because glass got stuck in my arm, in my bone, and I screamed like crazy. There was blood everywhere. um, Great memories. I grew up poor. Oh, let me explain the blood thing. I lost tons of blood. When they took me to the hospital, I watched them sew me shut. I watched them. I didn't need any drugs. I was making jokes while they were sewing a needle through my skin. If you can't heal, if my subliminals aren't making you heal, that is because I want to say that everyone's genetic structure, everyone's DNA is different. Maybe you react better to a strength building subliminal. Maybe you react better to a healing subliminal. Maybe you were born being able to easily manipulate matter and you were good with telekinesis. Maybe you're good at telepathy. Everyone is different. I keep trying to tell you that. Everyone is different. So let me tell you about my house. I grew up in a 100-year-old house. My dad was very conservative when it came to food, so if we didn't eat the food that he bought really shitty food, really unhealthy food. He would buy $2 burritos, a case of $2 burritos, and those I pretty much ate those, but I never drank any water. The only time I drank water was at school, and that was to appear bigger, because your body is like 50 to 80% water. So water makes you bigger temporarily till you pee it out, unless you talk a lot, which I do. Talking takes away hydration, by the way. I need water, and I still to this day have a weird anxiety with needing to drink water. I can get over it with subliminals, but I choose not to because it doesn't seem that big of a deal for me. So I grew up poor in a 100-year-old house. There were ghosts in the house. Not kidding. Things would fall off the shelves. They would move. They would. We heard creaking noises, walking noises. It was 100-year-old house, so why would you be surprised? Someone could have died there. You wouldn't have known. All I had growing up at home was spaghetti, hamburger helper, burritos, and those fake sugar carrots, those little carrots. I didn't really have, and my dad bought wine and in those big cases, which I had with my little sister when we were like 9 because we didn't know what it was and we didn't like it, but it got us a little tipsy. Other story. So one last reason besides my seizures my meds, the food I didn't eat, and how I grew up poor. Those are 4 reasons why I'm skinny. Oh, and healing. My body naturally heals. It always has. So I just generally don't age very fast at all. My mom has the same thing. My mother, who's almost 50 years old, gets carded. Yeah, she gets carded. My grandmother, everyone thinks my grandma is my mom. I have young genes, but I also, unlike my mom or my grandma, have a healing ability. Which, when people think of healing factor, they think of the Wolverine. They think of heroes, Claire healing that blonde girl. That's not the case with me. When I say that I have healing factor, and I do listen to subliminals for this to improve it, I heal faster than a normal human. The cut doesn't just close instantly. No. I got a cut yesterday on my finger. You know those cuts when you play with your skin, and the skin gets a little cut and it bleeds a tiny bit. I got that and I looked at it and I'm like, oh, because it dried. It dried and closed up. It's just the blood stays on there, the dried blood, so it looks more dramatic than it is. And I just like this. My beauty mark, that's what my family calls it. I don't know if other people call it that. My beauty mark, when I shave, it gets cut. But do I worry? No. I laugh about it because it heals instantly. Little cuts on me heal instantly, but the markings stay for some reason. But honestly, those scars and marks won't be there forever. They'll go away. Why? Because as a kid, I didn't feel much pain. I still got injured and still felt pain, but I didn't feel as much as a normal person would. As I got older, this healing factor improved. It got bigger, it got stronger, and so far, every single day, it gets stronger. So just think about it. Just think. I don't age. My meds didn't let me gain weight growing up. Stopped taking those meds last year. I've only been off the meds for less than a year. Less. Because my doctor, my dumbass epilepsy doctor's like, oh, you don't need them. Just stop taking them. I'm like, with drugs, shouldn't I gradually stop taking them? But he's just like, stop taking them. And I stopped and I started gaining weight. Imagine that. You would think some drug that's helping you, which it wasn't, would help you. That's why they say pharmaceutical drugs are dangerous. This original video was about my grandparents being stupid, but I didn't want to keep it at that. I wanted to talk more and more and more about why certain things. So let me tell you more of the story. By the time I reached, when I had my accident when I was 21, I'm almost 25. When I had my accident of my patella popping out of socket and my leg bending the other direction, I vowed to myself to become healthy, exercise, and eat healthy. I exercised like every day at the gym, but I got no results. I was eating fruits and vegetables, which is good, but I was still eating fake meat. I was still eating fake. And then I found on YouTube one day of an Asian guy hitting bricks to make himself stronger. And I'm like, why don't I try that? So eventually, in the beginning, I was bruising like crazy because I didn't have a lot of iron in my body. Those bruises healed after about 3 days. That was my healing factor at that time. Usually when an unhealthy person, like a really unhealthy person, gets has to heal, it takes them about 2 weeks. It took me 3 days. Now it takes me about 1 day with bruises, because I don't normally bruise anymore. And if I do, it takes me a day for it to go away. So when I started doing iron body conditioning or iron shirt training or iron shirt conditioning, it's where you hit hard objects against your body. In China, they use qi to destroy metal with their fingertips. I can lift a. I know how to use qi. It's more of a mental thing than a physical thing, the way to describe it. I had to learn how to use it. Because the first way I started off doing iron body conditioning, did you know I cried when I got my first muscle? I went into the corner and I began crying because it was so beautiful that for once in my entire life, I had a muscle. At the end of this year, I'm going to make a before and after video from 2000, just from 8th grade. I'm going to do an 8th grade to now, 8th grade to 25. So that's like 13 to 25. It might be 14. And you're going to see the difference of how much I've changed. Why did I change though? Why wasn't the gym making me change? Well, one, I was doing all the exercises completely wrong. I didn't want to be like everyone else. I was doing these stupid exercises that didn't help at all. Then I began doing calisthenics to where it was toning out my body, but I wasn't gaining weight. But I was still on the medicine, remember? The med that makes you lose weight and not able to put on any weight. So I was working out every night. I was eating healthy food. I was exercising, but I wasn't gaining weight. I did, though, after a while, I became toned. My body became toned and my back. I began first working out my back because I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool because I could hit the brick against my back. Wait. I first started out with, what's it called? Bronze? Brass? Copper. Yeah, copper. I started out with a copper pipe and I would hit it against my body. It kind of worked, but it was slow working. One, because I wasn't using it enough. Like, I would train for about 20 minutes a night. I was getting very slow results, like extremely slow. Like, I could see a difference in 1 week. Now, the way I train is with bricks. One, because bricks contain iron. When you're getting little pigments of the brick into your skin, you're getting iron. Bricks are actually made out of a bunch of things, but I'll get into that later. I hit bricks against my body and my arms. That's why my arms are all like weirdly toned like this. Yeah, you can see the indentions of the muscles. That is because after a while of training my back, I started training my arms. I began hitting them in sand because sand is glass. It's a byproduct of glass. It's little shards of glass. So I was hitting my arms like this on glass. I was hitting my forearms, and it was working, but it was slow. That's when I lived with my mom. Then eventually I wanted to make my palms hard and strong. So I began throwing the ball up in the air, throwing the ball up a hard baseball, and it would shock my hand. And eventually, because you don't know how skinny my fingers and hands actually were. You don't know. They were super skinny. It semi-worked. It semi-worked. Every single night at 6 o'clock, I would walk to the gym. That's 2 miles of walking. But I still didn't gain weight. If I wasn't on that medicine, I would have gained so much weight. So much. The only reason I'm now gaining weight is because I'm not on that medicine anymore. My mom would always make up excuses of why I was so skinny growing up. And I would tell my friends or people, other kids, why are you so skinny? And they would laugh because it wasn't really a valid reason. My mom would say, you were so skinny because you only drank juice as a kid. It's like, that doesn't make sense. As a grown-up, I realize it doesn't make sense. And it's funny that we call it a grown-up. Because your physical appearance could be grown up, but your inner childlike feelings, those can stay if you choose to make them stay. We're only really grown-ups because society tells us we have to become that. Not we want to become that. We have to. I try to have the perfect mix of being mature and being still creative. So let me get back to what I was saying. Let me drink water first because my mouth is getting dry. It's funny how the medical industry gets all the drugs, yet if you sell a drug on the street, you're a bad person. Let that soak in. It's pretty funny. So this year, compared to all the other years of training in iron body conditioning, one, I don't bruise anymore. I only bruise if I hit a spot that I'm not expecting. Because when you're using chi energy, I would have to say 90% of it is mental. 10% of it is electromagnetic energy. But most of it is mental. I can go to the grocery store now. I can put 8 things in a basket and lift it with my finger. Just my finger. Why? Because I know how to put energy in my fingertip. Most of the reasons why you see those Asian guys who aren't very strong, like they're not very buff, yet they can pull a car, or they can break a brick in half, or they can punch metal. This is what I say. It does not matter your size. It matters how you know how to use your body to do amazing things like I know how to do. But I didn't just learn that instantly. It took me 5 years. 4 years. I believe it's 2017, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. It took me 5 years to learn how to do it. There was one time when I was in my still immature stage where I tried to break a brick in half because I saw it on YouTube. And I hit the brick so hard with my hand, it made a huge bruise on the bone part of my hand because there is some squishiness to this. But 5 years ago, if a brick fell on these fingers, it would break them. They were so fragile. Now I've learned that I just do iron palm. Some guys in China put a bunch of rocks in a tin barrel and they go like this. It's faster. Just rubbing your arm against a bunch of rocks. You can buy iron punching bags, literally iron punching bags, but I prefer to use a sandbag. If you're a beginner, use a sandbag. Once you start feeling pain, that means it's working. Once you get a bruise, you stop doing it. You rest. Depending on your healing level, you would probably need a week. I did everything I could when I was first starting out before my bones got denser, because doing iron body conditioning makes your bones incredibly dense. I've seen an Asian guy cut a piece of titanium in 2 pieces, a pipe of titanium in 2 pieces with his fingertips. It is possible to use the human energy for higher strength. And you know that show, One Punch Man? I think his name is Systema or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. He actually, which is kind of funny, he uses the same thing, even though it's an anime, which is created by Asians who do it. They get it pretty correct. It isn't because he's super muscular. It's because, and I'm comparing, it's just something, I can compare it to real life because they do it in real life. He does it in the anime, they actually do it in real life. You would not believe how many things that you can do using chi. And you don't need to do all that gay shit with the chi ball. It's like, I gotta store all my energy. I have to go. By the way, that does relax you. If you go, feel how relaxed you feel after you do that. Breathe in when you're. And the reason they tell you to do oh is because it sends a vibration through your body. You don't have to do it though. Like I say to everyone, I'm going to say to my kids, there's a shortcut to everything in life. You just have to find it. You have to find it. No one's going to find it for you. You have to find it. We have biohacking. That's a shortcut to changing your body. We have biokinesis. That's a shortcut to change your genes. We have life hacks, which make life simpler. We have stealing. If you steal from a store, then you get something for free. There are hacks to everything. Everything. You think you have to go to college to get a good job, to get a lot of money, to save up, to get a house, to rent the house out. No. You learn how to do CPA marketing or affiliate marketing or start an Amazon business. You make about $20,000 in a month. We're lied to in this society. We are pure out lied to our whole lives about everything. And our teachers are just as ignorant. They're taught the same things that we're lied to about, so they're going to teach us the same shit. I just want to say, do not worry about the pole shift. The weather will be terrible, but you'll survive. I try to see the positive end of it. Here's a funny part of my life. When I think I was 18. That's when I first started lifting weights. And I've learned over long periods of time that hitting a brick against your shoulders and your arms and everything makes you grow muscle faster, and it makes you grow lean muscle. The funny part of being when I was 18, we had this house, this small cottage that me and my sister were both living in with our mom, and all our friends would always come over. I would always smoke weed with my friend, and one day I eventually was like, because I had a couch in my bedroom, I eventually said, well, I guess I'll lift the weights that I have. I never did. Sorry, hiccups. They were those shitty weights. Those ones that have like a weird coating over them. They weren't the iron weights. And I got stoned, because my friend was always coming over, giving me weed for free. And I just laid back, and with one side, I lifted the weight, which made my body uneven. Especially having foot surgery when you're getting foot surgery because you have club feet, the doctor taking the cast off and sawing into your foot. Yeah, Then you have to get another surgery on your feet. Then, when you're 21, your patella pops out of socket. And when you're 8, someone at school throws you and you land on your knees. And in high school, someone throws you and you land on your knees. My legs have had the worst history ever. I try to fix them. I try to make them stronger. But it's just, I can't do squats. I can't do all these things because my only one knee bends. Yeah, I can slightly bend this knee. I can slightly bend my left knee. But I eat my foot. I'm getting an operation in 2 days. And everything that you fail at, everything that puts you down, every person that puts you down, every problem that you encounter in life, every negative person only makes you stronger. I grew up saying that. Growing up, very creative, and I still am, I always said to myself as a little kid, I said, this can't be it. This can't, there has to be a reason why this. So I made up, in my head, I made up the fact that in the future I'm able to time travel, and I would threaten my parents because I was going to become a huge leader of something. As in, the future me was coming back in time to the past to tell my parents, to discipline me, to do all these things to make me into a stronger person. Because, and that has been my life's motto my whole life. Because it's strange. It's strange when people walk up to your parents, when people walk up to your grandparents and say, this really happened when we were at Home Depot when I was, believe, 9. And this woman just walked up to my grandma and she said, your son, she said my son, because my grandma looked young, still does. And she said, your son is very creative and has high potential. Don't give up on him. She actually said that shit and walked away. That's strange. That is strange. When you grow up as a kid, seeing all these strange, unexplained things happen, you wake up, there's certain markings on your arms when you wake up. There's markings that are cuts. Hell, there were cuts and slices all over my hands, my arms, my legs when I woke up. There were dots of blood on my legs when I woke up in the morning. And I just thought to myself, this doesn't make sense. There has to be a reason. I always was like that. I always said there has to be a reason for this. This doesn't just happen. I would have staple marks all over me. And it was random. Here is one. This is something I got when I was in the ambulance after I had a seizure. But I left the ambulance and went back into the house because it wasn't bad. But this, if you can see that, there are 2 looking staple marks right here. And growing up, I thought, my family knows something that I don't. And when I get older and when I'm very successful, I'll know why all these things in my life happened. When I almost committed suicide in 9th grade, I believe it was 9th. I think it was the 2nd year of high school. I met my first real girlfriend, my first actual real girlfriend. And I literally loved her, but I never kissed her because I was nervous. So once I kissed her, the day I kissed her, the next day she broke up with me. For 5 years, I thought about that for 5 years. 5 years of thinking why that happened. Until eventually I said, no, I'm going to get on with my life. This isn't important. And still to this day, I wonder, and this might sound like pseudoscience to some people. Sometimes you gotta think of pseudoscience. I honestly think that my future self isn't a bad person. It's just a powerful person. And honestly, for a lot of the unexplained reasons, like my girlfriend just randomly breaking up with me without telling me why, all these strange things, these strange occurrences, people walking up to me telling me that you're special, or random events, they have to have a meaning. I think I always have thought, always till this day, that my future self can time travel and he came back to the past to, I don't know, but I don't know. But these things that happen, they need a reason. They don't just happen for no reason. Those people have to be told to say that. They need to think to say that. It doesn't just come out, your son is gifted. It's like, what? Who the fuck says that? And that's not the only occurrence that happened. Oh no. This happened to my dad, my grandma, my mom, and my sister. They they all experienced this. My sister, my older sister, is incredibly jealous of me because my mom saw me as gifted. She gave a little more attention to me, and a lot of people would tell me, not me directly, but tell my parents and my mom and my grandma that I was gifted in some way, or I was enlightened, or I was something. It made no sense. But it encouraged me to get better. From all the hardships in life that I went through, I learned from them. I didn't do them again. Sometimes you need to go through a tragic event to understand something. But don't you agree? Doesn't that not make sense? And it's a little strange how someone would just walk up to your grandmother and say, your son is gifted. I have always in my life, and still to this day, will always think, almost just know, that there is someone that is making those things happen. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Unless someone can give me an actual proven reason why that shit is happening. I don't know. Just, but one day, I always will say this, one day I will know. I can guarantee you that. And one day, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the next day, I will be in power in something. I can promise you that. What I think most of the time is that in the future I'm incredibly powerful in some way or another. And I already said this like 3 times, but I time traveled to the past and I did something to certain people to make them not like me. Because a lot of unexplained reasons happened as a kid. A lot of people just didn't like me for no reason. There was no reason. When I was younger, I was the nicest person on the planet. I was never mean to anyone, and I was a complete humanitarian. And I still am that way a little bit, but I got tougher. Point being is there would sometimes be times when there would sometimes be times, I like that. There would sometimes be times when someone I didn't even know, I haven't even met yet, would just love me. And there was other times when someone would just hate me and pick on me for no certain reason. They wouldn't give a reason, they just weren't nice to me. Sometimes that happens. But the way my creative brain always worked was I needed a reason why. Tell me in the comments if you think that's weird. If you think it's weird that all these unexplained things happened in my life or your life, or it's just, I need a reason. Okay, I'm going to finish this now and go to bed. Goodbye, everyone. Good night, everyone. And as soon as I get a better computer, I will edit every video. I can promise you that because I love all of you. And I have one last thing to say, and that is good night and sweet dreams.